An impressive thunderstorm rolled through Spokane overnight. That thunderclap was so loud, as you can hear, it set off car alarms. Up with KREM's Tim Pham captured that loud thunder at around 1:30 this morning from Kendall Yards. Good afternoon and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News First at 4. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Whitney has the day off. Well, check out this amazing video of lightning sent in by Charlene Douglas from Spokane, if we can take it. Avista reported the storm knocked out power for nearly 1,400 customers. The biggest outages were in the West Central neighborhood. We've also received a lot of great photos from lightning from our KREM 2 viewers. This one was captured at the Spokane airport by Kyle Hannon overnight. And this photo from Daniel Cooley. You can see the lightning turning the sky, appears to be purple over Spokane. Very cool stuff right there. It really is amazing just how intense the lightning seemed overnight, and that thunder, my goodness, it was loud. We have some photos from KREM 2 viewer Jaden right now, and we would love to see your photos and videos. You can text them our way to 509-448-2000, and you just might see them right here on the air on KREM 2. Well, firefighters, it turns out, are investigating if the lightning sparked an early morning fire near the Cataldo mission. Shoshone-County Fire and the Idaho Department of Lands crews responded to that fire growing just off I-90. KREM 2's Janelle Finch spoke with the person who called 911 when that fire broke out. She is joining us live now to show us what that fire is looking like at this hour. Janelle?
Mark, I'm off of I-90 right now in Cataldo, where you can still see white smoke pluming from that fire earlier this morning. Thunder and lightning around 4 this morning woke Cataldo homeowner Brett Farrow out of his sleep. When he walked outside to let in his cat, he saw a wildfire starting to grow just a few hundred feet away. He went back inside and immediately called 911. Farrow says 15 minutes after he called, Shoshone-County fire officials arrived on scene. He says he went into a panic when he initially saw the fire, but once responders arrived and he considered the distance between the fire and his home, he calmed down. He says the fire started in an area that was logged. He believes lightning struck one of the dead trees and the fire took off.
Went and opened the front door to let the cat in, and she was standing right there ready to come in. And then I noticed the small fire on the hillside at that point. I came back inside, called 911, went back out, and it was getting pretty large at that point from the dead trees and the slash piles. I believe the lightning had struck on a slash pile or a tree that was right near it, so it really ignited and burnt fast.
The Shoshone-County Sheriff told homeowners over Facebook he also believes lightning started the fire, but according to the Idaho Department of Land, the cause of the fire is still unknown. Officials say the fire burned 2 to 3 acres of land and closed off Buckner Road, which is used as a logging road. Crews are still treating the fire. As early as 2 p.m. this afternoon, you could still see flames within that white smoke. The homeowner we spoke to today says that if the land was as dry as it was this time last year, he would have been more concerned about spread. But he says that crews arrived in a timely manner and they were able to get early control of the fire. Idaho Department of Land officials tell us they expect to have the fire completely contained by this evening. In Cataldo, Janelle Finch, KREM 2 News.
All right, Janelle, thank you very much. Okay, for more about last night's storm, when I send things outside to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy the Good. Look, Jeremy, yesterday you were warning us for the potential for thunderstorms, and boy, did they materialize overnight.
Yeah, it was all that heat we had yesterday, Mark, and we just kind of set up a little zone right over the top of us, and that is now working its way out to the east. But for now, its temperatures on the rise. We still have a little bit of cloud cover here, and we are in the upper 80s once again. But without that intense, direct sunlight, it just doesn't quite feel as warm. But yes, there it is, another band of cloud cover moving through. But there's that line of storms that works its way into Montana and stays rather strong. It was rather impressive overnight and through much of this morning, but now behind it, we're drying out the atmosphere and it is a bit gusty. So we have red flag warnings in place from Chelan all the way down into Yakima. That's on the lee side of the Cascades for elevated fire risk. Even central Washington facing it with wind gusts up near 20 to even 30 miles per hour and temperatures once again knocking on the door of 90 degrees. It's a hot, dry day across much of the inland Northwest. And as we head through the next few days, that pattern persists. The good news is we'll watch wind die down this evening. And as wind dies down, temperatures fall. We're back down near 60 tonight. But then we warm back up as we head into the day tomorrow. Coming up, we're talking a warm, dry weekend ahead.
All right, Jeremy, we'll check back in with you later in the broadcast. Well, it took some time, but the heat is finally here, and this weekend, volunteers will hit the heated streets of Spokane, mapping out the city's urban heat island, as it's called. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, an urban heat island is when a city or urban area gets hotter temperatures than their surrounding rural neighbors. This year, NOAA selected Spokane as one of several U.S. cities and 2 international cities to take part in this year's mapping of urban heat islands. Gonzaga University's Center for Climate, Society, and the Environment received the grant from NOAA and is making the mapping part of their new program. Spokane Beat the Heat, it's called. The center's director says the program is in direct response to last year's heat dome over the inland Northwest that ended up killing more than a dozen people due to the heat.
Try and get actually good data about Spokane. So we'll learn about how heat is distributed throughout the city so that we can then plan urban tree plantings, we can plan where cooling shelters should be so that community members next time can be better prepared.
Henning says it should take about 2 months for the results to come together. Both Seattle and Portland have also taken part in NOAA's urban heat island mapping in previous years, so more to come on that one. In other news today, Coeur d'Alene police are investigating the death of a 61-year-old man as a murder. Police identified the victim as Andrew T. Brake. He was found inside his house on West Versailles Drive on Monday. Police said it was obvious that he'd been dead for several days. At this point, investigators are not releasing any more details about just how he was killed or if there are any possible suspects. In the meantime, anyone with information is asked to call the Coeur d'Alene Police Department. Also in North Idaho today, the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office is asking for help identifying a man who was found dead all the way back in April. Deputies released pictures of the man's shoes, socks, and pants buttons in hopes that someone might recognize them. The man was found in a wooded area near a paintball field off Highway 53 and Greens Ferry Road. The man did not have ID on him at the time. Detectives estimate he's in his 20s or 30s, around 6 feet 2 inches tall, with short brown hair. At the time of his death, he was wearing a gray long-sleeve shirt and a white t-shirt. Underneath, blue jeans with a camo belt and dark blue Skechers shoes. He also had a white Bic lighter in his pocket. Police say he had arthritis in his back and a metal rod in his leg from a previous surgery. Police estimate that he'd been dead since late last summer of last year. If any of this sounds familiar, you can contact the case detective at the number right there at the bottom of your screen. Well, the city of Spokane says it is close to reopening the Hatch Road Bridge. The city says some final inspections are needed before the bridge can reopen. The bridge, which connects the South Hill with Highway 195, has been closed since the end of March while crews replace the bridge deck. The city still hopes to reopen the bridge sometime in the next few days, which would rather be weeks ahead of schedule. Of course, we will keep you updated when we learn of an exact opening date. A lot of folks waiting for that one. Well, tonight you can catch a full moon and a supermoon, it turns out. A supermoon is when a moon's orbit brings it closer to the Earth than usual. And something cool happens tonight. Walter's Fruit Ranch is hosting the Moonlight Strawberry Picking. There will be food and live music. They'll be open from 8 a.m. until 8:30 p.m. All right, still to come on KREM 2 News at 4 today. Spokane County's election less than a month away now.
Running for sheriff isn't about ego for me. This isn't something that John Knowles has felt necessary to do for the last 25 years.
Well, we are spilling the tea on who your local candidates are ahead of the primary election. It's coming up quick in August. First up, John Knowles running for Spokane County Sheriff.